It's not playing the game. It's winning that counts.
Yeah, baby. We're going to go out there and win.
This is Just Win Bets, baby.
Just win, baby.
With JoeDaFan and Shaneomac.
How do they keep winning?
Live on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
And here we go again. Of course, it is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Believe Network. I'm here alongside Shaneomac, live here in Burke, Virginia. I am, of course, JoeDaFan. And we have a show for you. In the next 60 minutes, we'll have our good friend Greg Peterson from VSiN. He will break down some MLB for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night's game. So, and also we'll drop our best bets for the night as we await the game one of the Carolina Hurricanes hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Shana, you remember I have 10-1 Vegas to win the cup, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we have to start off with another situation in the NFL. Not only Drake London's extension, but this one even more important to some people as the Philadelphia Eagles make the official trade of A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots for a 5th-round pick for next year's draft and a 1st-round pick in the 2028 draft. I don't know how the Eagles do it, man.
Howie Roseman always has everybody's number, it seems like. It seems like the Rams, they don't care at all about picks. They trade away their picks left and right here, just giving them out like Santa Claus on Christmas, right? And then the Eagles, they're like the complete opposite. They're like pick hoarders. They just get picks out of nowhere and just keep bringing them in. But thank God A.J. Brown's out of the division, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You know what? He was hit or miss. He really didn't do that much. You
don't remember that game he did when they put Manny Forbes on him the first? As
yeah,
a rookie,
well, it's Manny Forbes.
Yeah.
And he was a rookie. I mean, holy cow.
I don't know what Ron Rivera was thinking there, putting a rookie on him.
Yeah.
A skinny rookie, too. Forbes is like pencil thin going up against a big receiver like A.J. Brown. But thank God he's gone out from the Eagles. I saw some like Skins fans on Twitter saying like we should have went after him. There's no way the Eagles would have traded him to us. There's just no way. Because everybody wants us to get another receiver, but there's no way the Philadelphia is going to trade him to us. There's no way.
Just wait for Brandon Ayuk that's going to be released from the 49ers. There's no way that now that the Rams made that trade yesterday, sending Verse for Garrett and of course they're getting the draft picks as well. Or Cleveland is. Maybe you keep him around. I don't know, but he's asking for a lot, and he wants to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, he does. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I think we do need probably one more receiver. But honestly, I don't think our receiver room's that bad.
It's not that bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I think Treylon Burks shows some flashes where if he gets a whole system a year under him. Yeah. And this system, and if Jaden can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a big help. I actually like the kid a lot. I've been seeing a lot of footage from mini camps and stuff like that we drafted in the 3rd round. I think he's going to be pretty good. We'll see. So I think we do need some help, but I don't think it's like as dire as everybody needs or as everybody's saying.
Not even a minute and a half goes into the game one of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals here as Carolina came out swinging. 1-0 Carolina. Right now, holy cow!
Right over the goalie's left leg, right there. I mean, that building is rocking right now. They have those towels going nuts. It was pretty loud beforehand. Still early, obviously. I mean, it's 90 seconds in, so we'll see what happens. But like Jonathan Davis said, Vegas usually has a pretty good defense. They got some big guys on defense, so I think they'll settle in here.
Yeah, they're a little bit, I think, a little nervous there, and it's a little rust because obviously they swept Colorado. Didn't mean to change subjects there, but let's go back, of course, to the trade. Again, A.J. Brown traded to the New England Patriots, but you got to also ask that question, and I hate to bring up the Rossini and Vrabel situation. Who knows if Vrabel's going to coach? I mean, that's up for discussion as well. We don't even know what's going on there. I think there's going to be a mess, and now you're adding, in my personal opinion, you're going to add another mess to the New England locker room with A.J. Brown.
I think New England will probably be the spot he'll be less of a diva in, just because Vrabel's been his head coach before, so I don't
Right.
think Vrabel would have went stuck out there and put his neck out there saying to trade for the guy if because he was his head coach when he was in Tennessee before he was on the Eagles.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to be that bad there. It sounds like he actually likes Vrabel a lot and respects him a lot. So we'll see what happens. I mean, but on the Eagles, he was reading books on the sidelines and stuff. So when he wasn't getting the ball, I do think that Jalen Hurts, he's a pretty good quarterback. I say pretty good. I don't think he's outstanding. He's scared to throw over the middle of the field for some reason. He just doesn't do it that often. And that's where A.J. Brown's really good at because he's a big body receiver when he's going over the field. And Drake May's not scared to throw across the middle of the field. So I think he'll have more success in New England than he did in Philly.
Let's shift gears, of course, to the Atlanta Falcons, where Drake London signed a $141 million extension here. He'll be, of course, made the highest paid players, will make wide receiver one of the highest paid players in franchise history for the Atlanta Falcons. He signs the extension of 4 years, $141 million extension, including a $100 million guarantee. Not bad. So your thoughts there? I mean, you talk about big bodies. This guy's a big body.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list right now, and that puts him as the third highest paid receiver in the league right now. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who had a great season last year for the Seahawks.
Yep.
Then you have Jamar Chase, number 2, and Jamar Chase is probably one of, if not the best receiver. And then it's Drake London, and then Justin Jefferson below him.
Yeah.
And then CD Lamb below him. I don't think he's shown enough as on those guys level yet. I think he's a good receiver, but the problem is Penix last year didn't look that great for the Falcons, and they signed Tua as their other quarterback. I don't have any faith in Tua. He can't stay healthy at all. Right. So, I mean, if he doesn't want to get him the ball, I mean, is it worth that much money? That's my first thought.
I agree. I think for Atlanta to be successful, if you're going to put Penix back in, I'm not saying that he has won the job or hasn't, or the job was, taken away from it. Obviously, he got hurt last year. But you got to give the rock to Robinson and to kind of set it up. You got to have a good running game for a young quarterback. That's why I was hoping. And I think Washington was going down that road. I'm not taking anything away from Sonny Styles, which we'll talk about in just a second. But I think the way that Washington was thinking was to draft Jeremiah from Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
But obviously he was taken.
Yeah, he was taken. The Cardinals took him a lot of what was that, 3rd pick overall?
Yeah.
We had the 5th pick, right? So, yes, I think that's if he was there, I think they would have drafted Love, for sure, because he's a playmaker, man, for sure. And if you get him in the backfield with Jaden and you have that quarterback that's mobile and an explosive running back, that would open up some huge holes. But we'll never know because he was gone before we even had a chance to grab him. So. But I agree with you there. Run game is important for a young quarterback. It definitely is.
Absolutely. We switch to the Skins, and they have, of course, a little bit of a mini camp for rookies and, voluntary, quote unquote, voluntary mini camp, right? Or OTAs, however you want to call it. But it looks like Scary Terry came out. He's shown up, of course, to the camp with Jaden Daniels, and a lot of the veterans, of course, have showed up. Not all of them, but some. And pretty much called out Cliff Kingsbury. We're saying, hey, he likes this new system of Washington, because now they have, of course, a new offensive coordinator. But, not just necessarily have him on the outside. You had talk off the air about, hey, getting his legs back under him, because he held out, for a little bit more dough, as they say. But I like what I've seen here, not only from Luke, I've seen it from the rookie out of Clemson, and of course Scary Terry, not to mention Sonny Styles. They're already labeling him as the next baby Bobby Wagner. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I heard some of Terry's words. I haven't heard all of it yet, but he basically was saying about Cliff is that, and then it's true. If you look at a lot of the film,
sure,
like even when Cliff was in Arizona and he had Hopkins, so he would keep his number 1 receiver on the same side of the field and not move him at all.
Sure.
Right. So you're basically, teams know where your best threat's going to be. 90% of the time, right? So they put you at an offensive disadvantage where Blau, the new offensive coordinator, he's incorporating a lot of motions, which I love. I love that, right? You get some guys in motion, get some free out in space a lot easier. Yeah. I love that about him. He's moving up positions around, switching guys up, so you don't know exactly where 17 is every time he comes out in the field. He's not always on that left side where you can just stick your number one corner over there and just shut him down. Correct. Right? So you got to be a little bit more aware on the field as a defense, which I love. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And let's talk about the beef on the line. Now, we did touch a little bit on Cosme. Again, a lot of the bets are there because, when you have the coordinators, et cetera. But let's look at last year's rookie, number 1 draft pick on the right tackle, Josh Connolly Jr. He's bulked up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like he's lost a lot of it looks like, like a kid that's going through high school and then finally he gets to college and then he lost, it looks like he's just lost some baby fat. You know what I mean?
Right.
He looks like he lost that off his body. He looks a lot leaner, but bulked up too. He looks really good, man. I think it looks like he's going to have a really strong season this year. He's still, you can't say he's lost a lot of baby fat. He's still a big dude. He's
sure.
huge.
No, yeah.
but he looks a lot leaner, which I think will be helpful for his movement and mobility out there, which you need in a tackle.
Yeah, and I think like you mentioned, not only his diet, but he hit that weight room. I tell you that.
Yeah, his arms got some definition in them now and stuff like that. He looks looking good, man. He's putting in some work, which I like to see.
Yeah. So hopefully the vets can, of course, he did an okay job. I'm not saying that he did a terrible job, obviously, as a rookie, but looking forward to what he can do.
I think last season, Pro Football Focus, they always they rate players each week.
Yep.
The first 6 weeks or so of the season, I think they had him ranked pretty low on offensive linemen for, especially I think they rank it first 2 or 3 years. He was pretty low on the list, but they said in the first rookie or sophomore season, he was the top 5 best offensive linemen from week 7 on. So I think sometimes in the league, it just takes you a little while to get your feet wet and get under it. It's a big change going from college to the pros. Huge change.
Yeah, huge change. Real quick before we get to our guest, Greg Peterson, let's talk a little about college baseball there, Shano. A lot of teams eliminated. I'm a little happy that Texas A&M no longer, bye-bye, adios. But another shocker is UCLA is gone. I mean, listen, this is stuff that the Ace of Diamonds was looking at. I'm glad to see a lot of the teams made it, but I'll tell you this, our good friend Nick, he's not happy because Florida did not make the second, the super regionals.
Yeah, they did not. They went on. It's so, man, it's crazy. I mean, this is college baseball is so much fun to watch, right? During this time of year, when you have the College World Series, the kids play with so much passion. How do you feel about because in the pros, this is looked down upon, but there's tons of celebrating in college baseball. Are you a fan of it or no?
I mean, kids are going to be kids, and I get, hey, you got to have fun. I looked at it before, I think during my coaching time where, if there's a rain delay, they're doing this stupid stuff. They're playing bowling or with bodies like you see in the NFL when someone's pretending to bowl and they knock, they're pins or, they're playing a canoe, they're in a canoe. I look at it as, hey, what does this look like, a circus to you, man? I mean, are we here to win or are we here to have a party? Now I'm a little bit, after I've retired, I just feel like, hey, look, not only is life is too short, but let the kids have fun. And I think it helps to kind of have these guys kind of relaxed, not completely relaxed. Okay, stay focused now, but kind of add a little oil in the joints, if you know what I mean, and not be Mr. Roboto. So yeah, I think it's good, but there has to be a balance there. You can't do too much.
Yeah, because there's times I like it, but there's times I'm I was watching one game, I can't remember who it was, but some guy hit a routine single, and then he got on first base and he was looking at his dugout, just going like acting all crazy, and I was like, dude, it was a single,
right.
It's not like he had he legged out a triple or something like that. But if he did that in the pros, he'd be getting some chin music the next pitch he was timing, it was up.
Yeah, no question about it. My beloved Florida State is no longer they are eliminated as well. Kansas is out. I mean, that's just to name a few. We're down to the final 16 teams. But, it's interesting to see. You, of course, you do have Texas. You do have, of course, what do you call it? Ole Miss, etc. The Mountaineers of West Virginia. So it'll be interesting to see. We're going to have our good friend Quentin. He's going to come in tomorrow to talk a little bit, give us a little bit more an update and a preview of the super regionals there.
Nice. We need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about some College World Series.
Finally, we'll talk a little bit MMA. Shano, of course, you got the Apex. You were on with First Strike. Just real quick, how'd that go?
Went well. It'll come out tomorrow, so we just recorded it today. Sorry to break the fourth wall there. If anybody didn't know, it wasn't live, but they recorded my segment today. It'll be out tomorrow. Check it out. It'll be posted on YouTube, and it plays randomly on VSiN sometimes too, as well. So you can see my bets on there. There's some plays I like that the lines still haven't come out for yet, but our official bets will be coming out later, probably this week. Once those get posted, and I can start actually betting some money on it.
Right. How long was the segment? Was it a quick 5-minute segment there, or did Dave?
No, it was on for about 20 minutes or so.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Rob's probably going to send me a bill. We're like, hey, what's going on? Hey, Rob, don't send it to me. You send it to producer Mark, okay? Don't send it to me, my friend. Producer Mark is the guy who's got the money.
We talked about the UFC fight night this weekend, and then we talked a couple fights about the UFC White House card at Freedom 250. So we talked about the two main events there with the two belts with Topuria versus Gaethje and Alex Pereira versus Gane. So we talked about those two fights as well. So if you're interested in that, no official bets for those given out yet. We're trying to wait for this UFC event to pass first, obviously, and then we'll get into those. But what's crazy to me, and me and Dave Ross were talking about this, there were a lot of odds for this upcoming weekend's fight that still haven't been posted, but you can bet on anything for the Freedom 250 already. You can bet on like what color tie you think Donald Trump's gonna be wearing. Like, right. But I can't bet on somebody to win by submission yet on some of these fights.
Right. No question about it. And I'm excited. Of course, I think the card looks amazing. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the coming days, and as well, next week we'll have a couple of our new guests talking a little MMA, a little /UFC, one being, of course, Rob Nakamura. He's going to be joining us next week, as well as the great Nolan King. That's someone I am looking forward to talk to both of these guys, but they know their stuff.
Yeah, and then don't forget next week we'll have on Lou Finicaro like usual, guys. So I mean he knows the business inside and out. He's the OG. Right, he'll be on as well, giving his best bits like he always does for the numbered events, and can't wait to speak to him to him again as well.
Yeah. We'll have Adam Martin later on. We'll have him on tomorrow to talk about the Apex card. But again, you can catch all of our episodes now on the Believe Network. You can see the icon right above. So just make sure that you can see and Believe, but you can still catch it on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, the whole 9 yards there, wherever you get your podcasts. Check out our website, justwinbetsbaby.com, for our free winning pick newsletter. As Ayo Johnny went 2-2 today in French Open, but there's some WNBA picks. There's, of course, some MLB picks. And, of course, your pick here as under 5.5. It's currently still 1-0 in game one of the Stanley Cup final. So
yeah, they didn't start off good with Carolina scoring so quick, but it's too early. So we need some defense here.
Yeah,
it's still 1-0, almost halfway through the first period. So that's not terrible. It's not a backbreaker.
Hey, not only that, we just need the time. Come on, time. Come on, clock. Clock is not our friend. We just want the clock to just keep going.
They got Bill Belichick on the TV right now. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
He's down there. I mean, they're in Carolina, so I guess that makes sense. But
is he with the girlfriend?
Huh?
Is he with the girlfriend?
No, he was with Gary Bettman.
See, I don't see the girlfriend.
He was with Gary Bettman.
Gary Bettman's
the commissioner.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, Gary Bettman came out. It's his birthday today.
Oh, okay.
Everybody in NHL hates Gary Bettman just because, like, he should hate the commissioner.
Right.
But he came out. He turned 74 today, and he says he has no plans to retire anytime soon.
Why would you?
Yeah.
That's got to be the cakest job in the world. It's not like the NFL. Goodell, he's definitely losing hair, People getting suspended, blah, blah, blah. You rarely see it in hockey. Rarely.
Yeah.
If you want to be the two places, I'm not taking anything away from any of the five, as our good friend Dave Johnson pointed out, five major, not four, but five major football, basketball, hockey, baseball, and soccer in America here. But you don't want to be, in my opinion, commissioner of the NBA, nor do you want to be a commissioner of the NFL, because you're going to be staying up late, if something happens.
Yeah, that's true. They tend, I don't know why, but they tend to get in a little bit more trouble off the field than hockey and baseball and stuff like that. I mean, it still happens in those sports, but nowhere near as the hit rate. Hockey, mostly he's dealing with like some guy hit some guy illegally on the ice, or something like that. Or like some guy boarded a guy that was or blindsided them, and he has to decide if he's going to suspend him for a game or not. That's pretty much what he has to deal with.
Right. You're not dealing with. Again, I'm not saying that it happens in hockey. You're not dealing with any type of sexual, misconduct or anything like that, or someone going DUI or going 200 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone or something like that. You know what I mean?
Now, the DUIs I'm surprised about, because those hockey guys, they drink, man.
I know. But
maybe
they
when they get a driver. So
yeah, I think they are smart. I was about to say, I think they're smart and they got a driver. They're not walking around with a gun or anything like that. Why the hell do you just give it to the
those
driver?
hockey players, man, especially those Russian guys like Ovi, he goes out and gets hammered like in an all season. Like that's crazy.
He might be hammered as we speak.
Yeah.
Well, when we return, we'll have our good friend Greg Peterson on from VSiN talking a little MLB next here on Just Win Bets.
This is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
Major League Baseball, of course, has started a couple months ago, but we're with our good friend Greg Peterson, who's going to break us down and take us to the point. How you doing, my friend? Hope we're doing well.
Absolutely. It's been a great baseball season thus far. Some surprises, a lot of young teams that have been able to rise up. So I'm doing great, and hopefully we could get some more day games than we've gotten thus far this week. That always makes me a little bit sad when you don't get those day games on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there will be plenty of day games tomorrow. But let me start you off with this one, my friend. Again, we're joined with Greg Peterson of VSiN. The season started a couple months ago, give or take, right? Who do you write off as in like, okay, look, do you have is it like a deadline to where you're like, okay, this team is done? You take the Royals for an example, or maybe the Twins, just to name a couple, that you just totally write off, and it's like there's no way you're going to see the postseason.
The LA Angels, anybody, like, my goodness. When you're throwing Alek Manoah out the bullpen, you are eliminated from playoff competition. I think that's very fair to say. There's very few teams, honestly, that you're able to say that for. Like, obviously, the Colorado Rockies, with just how competitive the National League is, even though they've been much better this year, that's a team that you can write off. I would say at this point, you can do so for the Mets as well. Like, no team has went through a losing streak as long as the Mets had this season and it's ever made the postseason, albeit much of baseball just throughout the history hasn't had this many playoff teams. But, man, that's a little bit of a rough team. But there's only like 5 or 6 teams. Like you mentioned the Royals, I'm willing to write them off as well. They were a team that I just didn't see why people were so bullish on. They dealt with a lot of pitching injuries. They're generating no offense whatsoever. So they're a team there. If the Tigers trade away Tariq Skubal and they don't get them back, you can write them off. If they do get them back, then they're back in it as well. But other than those couple of teams, I feel like it's very competitive this year, and especially out there in the American League. Aside from, like I said, with the LA Angels, it feels like you've got a lot of teams that are in it, even though they might have gotten off to a shaky start, like the Red Sox, Orioles, teams like that. They still have some hope to be able to make the postseason.
Yeah. I hate to put you on the spot, my friend. How about our good friend Dave Ross's Mets? I mean, it looks like it's slim to none, and Slim is starting to walk out the door, if you know what I mean. I don't think this is a huge disaster for the Mets. Very high in the payroll, as you know. But, what's your take on the Mets?
Yeah, they're one of the teams I mentioned in passing that I'm out on them. Like, I do not think that they're going to be making the postseason. There's just too many teams above 500 in the NL Central for the wildcard spot. And for the Atlanta Braves, they have been absolutely tremendous. They are running and hiding with that division. And for the Philadelphia Phillies, they were in a similar spot as the Mets about a month ago. With the New York Mets, they needed to be able to make some changes, perhaps getting rid of the manager, shaking things up a little bit. They didn't do so. Phillies do so. They moved to Tom Mattingly. And while the Phillies might not be like a 1 seed in the National League when it's all said and done, they've gotten back above 500. They've gotten to respectability. Meanwhile, the Mets, they continue to mire in mediocrity. They're throwing out there a whole bunch of mix and match guys in the pitching. And that's one of the biggest things with the Mets as well. They spent as much money as they did for old, slow players like Marcus Semien, Bo Bichette. They needed to address the pitching a little bit more. They're throwing out their guys like Sean Manaea, David Peterson and company. Like, I'm right there with you. I'm very out on the New York Mets. They've been overvalued all season long. They've been a bottom 3 team in terms of making you money. So, yeah, with the New York Mets, I think that we can write them off, and I think that they're going to continue to be a good fade moving forward.
If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Nationals would have had a better record than the Mets, I would have taken that 100 times out of 100. I'm a big Nats fan. Hey, we're over 500 for the first time in 5 years.
Yes.
That's for now.
Leading the league in offense, too. The Nationals offense is very much for real.
Yeah. They are. They can hit the ball, man. They got a nice young team, a nice young squad, nice young lineup. So I'm excited for the future, but I know nothing's going to happen this year with them.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll talk about some day games tomorrow there with you, my friend. With the Nationals playing against the Marlins, a 1 o'clock game. We'll get to that in just a moment. But Shano brought up a good point here regarding, with the CBA. I thought you may want to comment on this, Greg, in regards of what the future is, since Shano brought it up. With the revenue, not only the revenue sharing, but also the salary cap. Shano, you mentioned that on a previous show? Do you mind, sharing some of that?
Yeah, I forgot the number, but somebody reported that the owners had a set salary cap in mind that they presented to somebody. It was like I think it was like around 250 million, somewhere around there. It was a ballpark figure. I can't remember the exact number, but do you think there will be a salary cap in this new CBA or no?
I think they're going to need to try to find some sort of number. That said, if you're someone like me that loves baseball, you might be watching a lot of KBO in 2027. You might need to go to the Nippon Baseball League. Maybe some college baseball is going to be tickling your fancy as well, because it's not looking great right now. Now, I think that there's too much money on the table to where if they were to lose a season, that, they would really be SOL there. And there's so many players like Freddie Freeman and company chasing down records that they're going to want to try to get out there on the field if at all possible. And we're going to see a lot of negotiations here in the coming days, coming weeks, coming months. But I do think that these two sides are very far apart. And then you've got the salary floor situation as well, which we've got a lot of cheapskate owners looking at you out there in Sacramento, Miami, list goes on and on as well. So it feels like there's a lot to sort out. I think ultimately we will get a salary cap, but it's going to take some time to get there.
Do you think it's going to be like a 1994 situation where we lose the whole season completely?
I don't think we lose the entire season, mainly because for baseball, I don't think they can afford to lose an entire season.
That's true.
I think that they're going to need to come to the bargaining table at some point. Maybe we see like things get muted. Maybe don't get like the April and May games and they start up in June, sort of like what happened with COVID and everything like that. I think we get some sort of a season, but I don't know if we get a full 162.
Yeah.
And Greg mentioned, of course, cheapskates. That's one of our owners here, which is, of course, the Washington Nationals. Yeah, he's on the verge of. Well, he wants to sell the team.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so I mean, speaking of the Nationals, Greg, and again, we're joined with our good friend Greg Peterson of VSiN, who covers, of course, college basketball when it's on, and now he's covering, of course, Major League Baseball. Let's talk about some early games. I mentioned, of course, the Marlins taking on Washington. That's one of the early games. How about the Detroit Tigers taking on as they travel to Tampa Bay Rays? Tampa Bay's been doing pretty well. And, of course, the White Sox and the Twins. Any of those three early games that you'd like to talk about?
Absolutely. I'm going to continue to ride the overs in the Washington Nationals game. Right now, I'm seeing that total of 8. Andrew Alvarez has not went past 4 1/3 innings in any of his 5 appearances thus far this season. And Max Meyer has had things rocking and rolling for the Miami Marlins. sub-3 ERAs, getting 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, but this Nationals team just continues to hit. Like they're averaging 5.3, 5.4 runs per game. Now, I do like the Miami Marlins on the money line. This is like a pick 'em, minus 105, minus 110, depending upon where you're shopping here. So I'm going to be in on the Marlins just because I do think that they have the better pitching here. But I do think that the Marlins are going to give up a few runs in this game. Certainly think that they get to Andrew Alvarez. So that was one that was very much sticking out to me with regards to early slate. And then you mentioned the Tampa Bay Rays have been a little bit shaky here recently, and Troy Mullen has actually been able to do a pretty rock solid job here for the Tigers. I was seeing some openers between a 7.5 to an 8. I hope that we can get some 8s on the board because at an 8+, I'm going to be in on the under. Got a guy, Nick Martinez, that I think is going to be doing for some regression. He's got a sub-2 ERA, not getting a lot of swings and misses, but it's also been a Tigers team that has been awful with their offense. Like we talk about the Tariq Skubal injury, how much that's affected them. They're also dealing with injuries to Javi Baez and so many others with that lineup as well. They just got Gary Carpenter back as well. So if we can get an 8 in terms of that Tigers versus Rays game, that's a game that I'm going to be taking a shot on to the under.
Yeah. As you mentioned, of course, Nick Martinez is scheduled as, obviously anything can happen, but it's scheduled on the mound tomorrow afternoon at 1:10, and you can get the under at minus 115 over Fanatics. Anything in the night games or in the afternoon game for tomorrow, just to mention a couple, the beloved, as I say, for my good friend Dave Ross, the New York Mets travel to, of course, the Mariners, the Padres, of course, traveling to Philadelphia. You mentioned the O's earlier, Baltimore, as they travel to Boston. Any of those three, or maybe a Guardians New York Yankees matchup there?
I do trust in the New York Yankees on the run line. You're going to be able to get that at good plus money. The run lines are starting to come out right now. Garrett Cole's just looked really good since coming out the injury list. 12 1/3 innings scoreless. It's a Yankees team that has been completely different with their offense at home as well. Numero uno in terms of run creation at home, 5.7 runs per game. Felt like in that last road trip, they were able to get their swagger back with their offense. Cody Bellinger is lending quite a bit for his team. Anthony Volpe has not been completely useless, so that's been great for the New York Yankees. And for the Guardians, more of a league average team with their bullpen ERA this season. I've liked what I've seen out of Gavin Williams. He's worked on the walks. He's given you 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. But the Guardians bullpen is much more vulnerable than they have been in the past. So I do like the Yankees here on the run line in that one. And how can you go against Christopher Sanchez right now? Now, the money line is chalky, minus 190, minus $2. I think the better way to look at that is at 7.5 to the under. Christopher Sanchez allowed as many runs as the three of us in the month of May. And in the month of May, none of the three of us pitched any innings at the big league level. So that tells you how good he has been. And for Walker Buehler, he's been much better than the 4.88 ERA would indicate. 0.7 home runs allowed per 9 innings. Fielding independence, a full point lower. Padres have had a little bit of a rough go of it with their offense. So continuing to back Christopher Sanchez in this form, the under, just because it's gotten so chalky on the money line. That's the way that I'm going to be looking at that one.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Phillies, listed at money line at minus 190, as you alluded to there, Greg. And that, of course, you can find that at BetMGM. Let's go back real quick to the Yankees, where you said to give up the 1.5, and you can find that number at plus 146 on FanDuel. So I'm going to lock that one in and probably put a half a unit on that. Shana, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying?
No, I was going to say it too. I looked up the Yankees run line while he was saying that. And I was like, plus 146. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And you can find that on FanDuel. Before we let you go, my friend, obviously they've got the All-Star break. I mean, it feels like it's just around the corner, if you know what I mean, because this whole month, I know we just started in the month of June. It's just around the corner. But I know I know that we just started the month of June. Who do you think has the best record in the month of June in this MLB teams? Who takes it this month?
I think that you just continue to roll with the Atlanta Braves. They've had the best record in baseball this far this season, and I do believe that they're the most complete team in all of baseball. They've been a top 7 team in terms of bullpen ERA. Now they've got Spencer Strider back in their rotation as well. Ronald Acuna Jr. has hit 5 home runs in, I believe, the last 7 to 8 games. Now, I know that Drake Baldwin hit the injured list. That hurts them a little bit, but this is a Braves team that they look like that team that was so dominant in 2023. I know that they're going to be a short shot if you're looking at team for the most wins in the month of June, what have you, but I really think that they just continue to lock in. I think that they are going to just get even better as the season goes along because they're still a little bit banged up. We haven't seen Spencer Schwellenbach all season long as well. So I really like the Atlanta Braves to be able to keep things rolling, and I think that they just continue to get the job done.
Yeah. We'll leave you, of course, with this last question. Again, we're joined with Greg Peterson of VSiN, and you can follow him at gunit_81. I know we're not at the All-Star break, and there's still trade deadline, and things could happen. But do you have a sleeper that makes it to the postseason? And I know it's still early to say who do you think wins it all. I mean, a lot of people are looking at the Atlanta Braves, but do you see anybody making a big move that will, maybe buy now, buy high, right? On a team that might make a move to kind of get into the postseason and maybe make a run.
Yep, and certainly I do think that if I had to pick a team that I think would win the World Series right now, it's the Atlanta Braves. Obviously, I think that you're going to be able to get more value on that by taking a look at something other than the futures market right now. So there's that aspect of things. But that said, in terms of teams I think could be able to rise up a little bit more, I think that they might be one of the last wild cards right now. But I just will go back to the Toronto Blue Jays. They were really banged up towards the beginning part of the season. Keep in mind, they were an inning away from winning the World Series last year. They get Trey Savage back, who's looked really good. They should be getting more reinforcements along the way as well. Don't call his name Alexander Kirk at the catcher spot. He's been dealing with a little bit of injury. They should be getting him back at some point. They just got back George Springer as well. I do think that for the Blue Jays, you're going to be able to get more run production out of them because they've been a very unlucky team with regards to their offense. They've been a top 3 team in terms of fewest strikeouts on a per at-bat basis, so they're doing a good job in terms of maximizing at-bats. The Blue Jays are a team that I think has a lot of value, that the odds are going to get shorter and shorter for them, and I think that they are going to be buyers at the trade deadline because we saw them in the offseason go for it with that signing of Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
I got one final question for you, Gail. Yeah. I know you're doing your 2026 beer review right now, your beer review bracket. Yeah. Any upsets that you were surprised to happen in your beer review?
Oh, we've got a few of them. Maui Brewing, it looks like it's going to be out as the number 3 seed. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue there. And I like Maui Brewing as well. But you know what? Sometimes you get some of those just strange, wild upsets as well. So that's interesting. And Von Steegert, I hope I said that correct. They are the ones that make like the Golden Drock beers and everything like that. Very highly seeded bracket or highly seeded brewery out there in the bracket. They were a 3 seed. They went down as well. There's a brewery called Youngblood in the state of Wisconsin that took them down. Very, very good brews being made out there in Madison, Wisconsin.
I love it. I've been checking it out every time he posts it. I'm like, ooh.
We might have to make a stop in Wisconsin there, Shano. I know you went there last year for the Skins game against Green Bay, but you might have to, I'm not saying illegally import these, beers over to Virginia, but I'm not.
Hey, every time I go to Total Wine, I always pull up his list and I look for a new beer.
Yeah.
I was like, Greg's got this pretty high. Let's check it out.
Yeah. Greg, we have this. There's a place. They call it like an ABC store, what have you. I don't know what they call it over where you're at, but here they have this big, huge like warehouse. It's kind of like a Costco. Like a little bit less than a Costco, but it's got all beer and wine. They call it Total Wine. I don't know if they have that where you're at.
Oh, absolutely, they do. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So they have a Total Wine, and that's where, like he was saying, we have the list there. We're like, oh, let's check this out. Oh, let's check that out. Because obviously, I'm not trying to be that person to kind of quote unquote import, a beer. I'm not insinuating, nor am I advocating for that, but I'm just saying it's great to have a list that you provide.
Absolutely. And it's becoming easier to be able to buy beer online. There's a site called Halftime Beverage. They will actually just ship it to your door. You don't have to worry about doing it illegally or anything like that. You have to be at the door to sign, and you have to have your ID on you, but that makes it easier.
Yeah, much easier. We might have to look into that. Channel.
Sure.
Man.
For sure.
Well, Greg, man, it's been great seeing you again. I hope all is well, and good luck on your bets for tomorrow, and for the future for the MLB. And hope to talk to you soon, my friend.
Always appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thanks.
When we return, of course, we will have our best bets for the night here on Just Win Bets, baby.
This is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
Well, what a night here. Of course, there's some outstanding bets that we need to talk about there, Shano, but it was good to have our good friend Greg Peterson on from VSiN talk a little MLB as he gives a couple of his plays for tomorrow. One being, of course, the Yankees giving up on the run line, giving up the run and a half. I like that play very much. But he also gave out the over, and this is something that our beloved Washington Nationals, who are taking on, or they're playing at home tomorrow, 110 game, as they take on the Marlins, and it's currently at over 8 runs at minus 110. He thinks that's a steal.
Yeah, the Nationals, man. I mean, they're, like I said earlier, they're above 500 for the first time in 5 years, and they can hit, man. They can hit. They've been pretty consistent offensively all year. Now, that being said, they only have 1 run so far today. They're playing the Marlins right now, and they're losing 4-1 in the 7th inning. But you know how baseball is. 162 games. You're not going to score 6 runs every single game.
Yeah, and we also talked about, speaking of 162 games, we talked about the future of MLB. What is possibly to be expected, not only with the trade deadline and maybe his possible teams that'll make a run for the postseason with these trades. And I understand it's still early, but also next year, as you know, with the CBA, things could happen.
Yeah, things could happen. Like he said, he thinks we're going to probably lose at least some of the season next year, and I think that's probably what's going to happen as well. The problem with the lockouts nowadays is it's like the owners have so much money, they can lock out for an entire season and not feel it at all. Where the players, like they really can't do that, right? They don't have the. I mean, a lot of them. There are some stars that make tons of money, yes, but your average player, he makes good money, but not nowhere near as much as an owner where he can sit out that many games, and it's not good for the sport when you sit out that many games. I don't know if you remember. I mean, I was a kid, but in 1994, they had a full season lockout, and baseball was dead after that for years. It was years, and there was like 2 things that brought it back. It was Cal Ripken chasing the streak, and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa hitting home runs left and right. Those are the 2 things that brought baseball back into the limelight. But when they shut down that whole season, fans just checked out. They're like, all right, I'm done with it. And then it took that stuff to bring it back.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And Greg brought up a great point that they can't afford to, completely shut it down. So, and I think that's something, to talk about there. Not looking good here, Shano, in regards to our over-under on the NHL game, as is 2-1 here. Still Carolina up by a goal as the Golden Knights just scored. So, and we're still in the first period.
It's okay. It's gonna be a long series. I think it's gonna be 6 or 7 games.
Right.
We talked with Jonathan Davis yesterday about, and we have that long bet of getting over the total amount of goals for the series. And the first game, I feel like for any series is the hardest one to bet. It's hard to see. You got to get a little bit used to see how these teams are going to play each other, right? And I think that's the hardest one to make. So typically playoff games do go under. So that doesn't look like it's going to happen today, but you never know. Man, yeah, that was a nice goal by the Golden Knights there. Deflection right off the stick.
Yeah.
But so we'll see. And we'll definitely make it back up in game 2 if this doesn't hit. Yeah.
So halfway to, towards our bet there. Let's talk about our other bets around. We cover, of course, folks, over 20 leagues. Not all 20 are happening right now, but courtesy of our friends over at Pickett. And you can log on to Pickett. You can see it right there on the screen, the QR code, where you click on that or scan that. They will take you, of course, to Pickett Pro, which gives you a whole list of stuff that Pickett offers. And it's a great app, and it keeps kind of like your bookkeeping of what your bets are, and a lot of positive tools that happens throughout there. Shano, did you want to touch base on that?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, we use it, and it's awesome. It keeps track of everything for you. I know a lot of people that do sports betting, they keep like Excel spreadsheets and stuff like that, right? You pretty much can get rid of it if you have Pickett, right? It keeps track of everything. It'll even break it down. You can click on like I give UFC bets. You can click on UFC, and it'll break you down like how you're doing in UFC right now. What's your return on investment? Yada yada yada. You can do it by sport, NHL, NBA, whatever, right? So it's really cool, and it shows you like which bets are most profitable that you're making money off of, and which ones are not. So it makes you a smarter, better overall, and it helps you win money long term.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a nice feature that you've mentioned there, and I use that all the time, especially for my soccer. Again, you can click on the QR code. When you do that, type in the promo code JWBB. It gets you 10% off the pro subscription there. It's a year-long subscription, but get 10% off of that, and it is definitely worth every penny. Let's talk about, of course, the Ace of Diamonds, who has 2 plays in the MLB. Of course, you've got one of the Dodgers money line at -118 as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's going to be later on. They don't start first pitches at 9:40. But one that's going on right now is under 9 with the Houston Astros hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's 2-2 at the end of the second inning there. So yeah, not really. He's not expecting a lot of runs, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for sure. Kind of like hockey here. We just need to stop scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop scoring. And I know a lot of unders, when you bet them, you're relying on pitching and they usually have pretty good pitching with those 2 squads, right? So you're relying on your pitchers to stay to keep up those trends. And just like I said earlier, baseball, 162 games, man. It's tough to keep track of all of them, and you're not going to be an ace every single night.
Yeah. We move over to the WNBA with Her Excellency has 2 games as well, as the Commissioner's Cup has started with the Sky playing against our Washington Mystics, and the Mystics, of course, up by 9, and our play is Washington -1.5. So it's looking pretty good in the middle of the third quarter or period. But the one that is very surprising is Atlanta now took a big number here at -13.5. They're losing to the Connecticut Sun. Sun isn't really that great, but hey, they've showed up. It's still early, as you always alluded to there, Shano. Third quarter, and they're only down by 3, but hopefully Atlanta can come back.
Yeah, Atlanta's got to start putting on the gas here too. Live bet right now, Atlanta's still -4.5 right now. So I think Vegas is still thinking Atlanta comes back. So we just need them to go get back and go on a run there. Yeah,
we'll have, of course, some more bets in tennis. Our good friend Ayo Johnny is working on that, and let's not count out, of course, JD Money, who's going to have, I believe tomorrow it's going to be released, or the day after, is the return of the Canadian Football League, CFL. So he'll have his week 1 bets. Looking forward to seeing what he has as he starts his journey into that new season. Yeah.
CFL, more football is always good. And it's kind of like a perfect time for the CFL if you're into football. I know the rules are a little different and all that stuff. But you got the UFL season wrapping up, right? And then you got CFL right after it, right? So it's like football year round almost.
Yeah. And the GOAT has, of course, released his 2 picks. It'll be on our newsletter tomorrow, as the Defenders will travel to now, as we talked about it yesterday, the Orlando Storm in Dayton, Florida, or Daytona, Florida, Daytona, Florida, but also the Louisville Kings, which I'll have an opportunity to interview Coach Redmond soon. So Coach Redmond of the Louisville Kings, who, hey, they've been on fire, man, as they travel, of course, to St. Louis Battlehawks. I could see an upset there.
Yeah, I could see an upset there for sure. The Battlehawks is a tough place to play in St. Louis because they pack that dome and it gets loud there for sure. But the Kings, man, they've been looking good. They started off the season very slow, but the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've looked like the best team in the league.
Yeah. So check out our newsletter. You can sign up for our newsletter if you just log on to our website, justwinbetsbaby.com. Type in, of course, your email address, and it'll get sent to you to your inbox. Make sure you check your spam or junk folder. Sometimes it goes in there. I don't know why, but of course we are working on that. But you'll get your free winning picks daily from now until the end of the calendar year. And it just seems like around the corner, Shano, is the NFL college football. But even before that, we're going to have some official picks in a couple weeks, not only with my World Cup picks, but also we're going to have some picks in golf with the U.S. Open happening in the middle of June there. It looks like it's June 15th is when that's going to start.
Yeah, we're going to have the Wise Man back on, talk about it.
Yep, we're going to have the Wise Man, of course. Craig Mobile, of course, will be joining us for that one. So again, something to look forward to. During the summer, it does get a little slow, right?
Not
but
for you, this summer.
you know, yeah, you have, of course, the MLB, college baseball, which of the super regionals, there's nothing going to happen until the next couple of days. So we'll see that. Again, we'll have our good friend Quentin on tomorrow to talk a little bit about that. Shano, you mentioned MMA or UFC, I should say, which is taking place at the Meta Apex. What's going on there? Any plays you want to that you talked about today with Dave Ross and Rob Moreno? Is there anything that you want to share?
Yeah. So the main event, we got Bilal Muhammad versus. Let me pull up my notes here real quick. But the main event, it's got Bilal Muhammad in it. Bilal Muhammad, if you don't know him, he is a former champ in this division.
Mm-hmm.
But he has lost his last 2 fights and hasn't looked great in either of them. And then he's facing a guy named Gabriel Bonfim. But Gabriel Bonfim is the much younger fighter. He's 10 years younger. And he's riding a 4-fight win streak. And he's got stopping power. And he has a lot of submissions underneath his belt. I kind of look at it kind of like the Izzy fight, where like Izzy was like, former champion, and then he's starting to like hit that decline. Bilal Muhammad's going to be 38 in a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Gabriel Bonfim is 10 years younger than him. And then when you have that big of an age difference at these weight classes at 170, it's a pretty big difference. And he's definitely the more explosive fighter. I think he wins that fight, so that you can get that at plus money right now. It's not huge plus money, but it's like plus 105, plus 110, something like that. I wouldn't take him to win by finish or anything like that, because Bilal Muhammad's only been finished once in his UFC career, and that was a decade ago. So It's been a long time since he's been finished. So I don't think that's going to happen. So I talked about that. The other fight I talked about was Brendan Allen versus Edmund. Edmund, I like. He's going to start off very strong, but then he gasses out a lot in his fights. So I'm taking Allen to win that, and I kind of like him to get submission late in that fight. If you can get a submission for in round 3, that it's worth a sprinkle to put it on that for sure. So the bet that I think that I'm going to put for my official bet there is I'm going to take Allen to either win by Allen money line, and then take the over. The over's at 1.5. I think, and you parlay it together, you get around even money.
Okay.
And then the next fight is Iwo Baranowski versus Junior Tafa. Baranowski, dude, you got to watch this guy fight. Polish power, that's what they call him. He has 8 professional fights. All 8 of them he has finished in the first round. He has 8-0. He has finished all 8 in the first round. I'm putting him to win in the first round again. I think that's almost a lock there, I think. And then my last one, Bryce Mitchell versus Santiago Luna. Luna's an up-and-comer. He's taking this fight on last-minute notice here. He took it about a week notice. And Mitchell's a pretty good fighter, but he has a very weak chin, and Luna's a powerful striker. I'm not putting a ton of money on it, but I think it's worth to put a sprinkle on Luna to win by knockout.
Ooh, a little pizza there.
And that's at like plus 400, something like that.
Wow.
So that's some big money there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's a long time. I don't have to get up at 4:00 in the morning. I don't know if you had Dave or asked Dave about this, but he did get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
he's crazy, man.
He did.
He
asked me if I did, and I said no, there's no way. He's like, I got 2 young kids. I sleep when I can. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m.
Right. I'll get up at 7 because usually I'm up when it comes to the English Premier League and stuff like 7:15. Okay, yeah. Give or take. Okay, sue me. But I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. There's no way. There's just no way. Maybe now, I will be honest with you, but this was about 30 years ago, 20. Definitely 20. I take that back. 25 years ago when the World Cup happened. And yeah, I did get up early in the morning when I was watching the soccer and stuff like that. But no, I'm not doing that again. There's just no way. Heck no. But speaking of the World Cup there, Shano, we will have my good friend, Brad Bets Footy, and we are starting our new podcast. They just sent over, the announcing guy just sent over the audio, which I have to share with you later. And it sounds pretty good. And it even has my good friend Andreas Cantor with his golazo or goal. So he will, of course, be having that. That's in part of the intro, and they've got some nice music. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The rosters are set, pretty much set for all of the teams, all 48 teams. I'll tell you this right now. Sweden, Sweden. I'll give you a sneak peek. Sweden is like the Cleveland Browns. Wow. How do I put this? The Calgary Flames, maybe of soccer. They're trash. I mean, just complete trash. And I'm just being honest with you. And they just played. Norway is a team to look out to watch. Look out for Norway. They got a young kid on there. And I'm not taking anything from Holland, but we're gonna break it down. Obviously, I see Mexico making a smaller run, but don't count out, as we talked to Paul Carr last week, the Japanese. Don't count them out, man. I'm telling you, Japan might make a run. They may even win their group. I can't promise you that, but I think they have a good run. Senegal, a team to look at. Cameroon, I don't see it. I don't see it yet. But again, I haven't looked at all the numbers. So USA will, of course, make it to the second round, or definitely, they changed some rules, which we're going to explain on the new podcast starting in about 8 days. So we'll have that and explain all the Asian handicap and under and over 2.5. The assist. There's a lot of props in soccer.
If you want a preview of that, last time we had Brad Footy Bets on, he talked a lot about the Asian handicap and really broke it down. So if you want, I want a in-depth analysis of like what that means and where you can find it and stuff like that. He did a good job of explaining it. So that's posted on YouTube and everywhere else. But you can find your podcast. So if you want to hear him talk about that, definitely pull it up.
I do have a favorite. I can't believe that I'm not going to announce it now, but I do have a team that I think will win it all. Obviously, the odds on favorite is Spain, España. I don't know. I mean, Brazil has some great. They've got a very nice defender in Vinny Jr. Among other players from Brazil, but and Vinny Jr. of course plays for Real Madrid. So again, a lot of this information and data is coming out right now for me. So I'm putting it in my model. So I'm working kind of late to figure out exactly what I want to do. But there is a team. I'll break it. I'll give you a hint. It's in Europe, and it's not going to be a first time winner. It'll be a repeated, meaning that they've won the World Cup before. I'm afraid to say that this nation will win the World Cup, if not be definitely in the Final Four.
And should see who it is.
Yeah.
Japan?
No, it's not Japan. It is definitely not Japan. I said Europe, dude. I said Europe, not Asia.
I missed the Europe part. I missed the Europe part.
Yeah. They're in Europe. Everybody was saying, hey, maybe England and stuff like that. I don't see England. I think they get eliminated in the round of 16, maybe 8. So for all my European chaps out there, I apologize, but based on my early numbers, I don't see England going in the top 4, making it a Final Four. No.
Saudi Arabia?
No. But you'll see. Belgium is always a good. I'll always look at Belgium. Hey, don't sleep on the Netherlands. Holland,
Back in my FIFA days when I played, I used to always play as Germany. How's Germany this year?
See, Germany is a team that I am kind of like, I don't think they win the group because there's first, second place. There is now with the new rules a quote unquote third place, but I'm not going to get into that right now because it's really stupid because it goes from 48 to 32. And
how can you let a third place team in? I mean, come on.
Because they've got so many groups and it's kind of like a wild card.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's going to work. I don't like it. Just keep it the same. Keep it at straight 32. That's it. But they're letting everybody and their brother in. So I don't like it.
It's going to go to 64 next. They're going to have to fill
out. No. Stop it. I don't want that. I mean, it's holy cow. I mean, there's only 180 countries in the world. I don't know if everybody plays, but now, hey, I'll tell you this. This might be a shot at a country here, which I love. If they do move it to 64, maybe Italy will finally get back in. Oh, sorry.
I want to see the smallest country, Vatican City, have a team. It'd be like the Pope and some Cardinals.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I need to have my peeps, man. Peru needs to get back in it. No, Peru's not looking that great. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. But definitely too much tickets. I saw the tickets, and too rich for my blood.
I mean, what's the closest city to doing this? Philly, I think.
Philadelphia.
Philly, yeah. Yeah, then you have to still drive up to Philly and all that stuff, and then you have to deal with the people in Philly.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll watch it here. I'm good. No need to drive. No 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. No, I'm good. Well, that's going to do it, of course, for us for tonight. Again, don't forget to catch our episode here on the Believe Network. You can find on Apple, Spotify. You can find on Amazon Music. Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast. You can catch the video version on not only Spotify but also on YouTube, which we have over 14,000 followers there, Shano. And I'm very excited, of course, for the summer and of course with the World Cup, working with a great handicapper in a sense, Brad Betts Footy. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear it for sure.
Yeah. Well, for Shaneomac, of course, I am Joe the Fan. Have a good night. Good luck on your bets. And check out, of course, our website, justwinbetsbaby.com. Good luck to you on your bets. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.